Alright guys, welcome back to the Road to Wololo 2022 August Finals. We've got DivineDFP here on the English up against VortiX, also on the English. So VortiX is in the red rungs today. DivineDFP in the blue. So we're here in the finals bracket. I believe this was a second staged game in the finals top 16 bracket. So the quarterfinals. And we're here. Game 3 of this series. DFP down 2-0 to VortiX so far. Interesting choice for the mill, but I suppose VortiX can always push the Huntables closer to it as well once he comes back with his scouts. Well, DFP for the minute, it's just gathering food and where's his gold? He's not gathering any gold yet. Going to start his gold gathering now. But he's otherwise, yeah, just going to skip the mill eco initially. So here on Altai, there's only 2 relics in this. Oh, there's 3 relics in the center, sorry. Fairly safe one for each player, a neutral one, and then there's one on each side of these cliff faces. So there'll be quite a bit of a pain for our players to get to. And I mean, English mirror, so wouldn't be uncommon to see both of them open mills, go for wheelbarrow and get a fuckload of early farms, but at the same time, if you do delay the mill eco, you actually do get that slightly faster feudal age. So it looks to be what DFP is going for here. So VortiX is going to have the improved gathering of the wheelbarrow, and on top of that, he's not going to be so constrained with sheep eco and then having to get onto the hunt or onto the berries. So it's a really nice spot there for DFP, can effectively mill there. While VortiX's berries is on the far side of his hunt. So VortiX perhaps needing to go for that early mill regardless. So DFP, Council Hall starting up for him. VortiX's is going to be a little while away now. We've got 2 gold gatherers for the moment. And because he's started gathering the gold earlier and started gathering the wood, he's also not got either resource he needs to get onto that age up just yet. So DFP can possibly look at going for some harass on these gold gatherers. Might not bother at all though. It's not a matchup where you're going to open with early knights, or even possibly where you're likely to go early horsemen. Because obviously your longbows are really king, and then adding horsemen to deal with them, or man-at-arms to deal with them, is really the way to go in this matchup if not going for a quick castle age. DivineDFP already gathering stone. He wants to go for a quick second town center here. Yeah, VortiX, you can fuck around taking tax. I'm going to get a second town center. But VortiX might be able to go for a fairly sustained feudal age push fairly quickly here, because he does have that farm eco already. So VortiX is already harassing DFP's Council Hall. Not really going to get him a lot, but at the same time, probably not really worthwhile harassing much else other than maybe one of these stone gatherers, but there's plenty there and the dual scouts to defend. Oh sorry, he's taking out the mining camp. Or he's attacking the Council Hall. DFP aging up. VortiX is a little while away from his. He's got 4 villagers building it though, so it's not far off. He is getting a second mill for the deer. And I mean, you can always throw down a wall here and it gets very difficult to try and push him off this farm eco. Although, DFP can get up this little rampy part of the cliff. So villagers coming forward to assist the scouts. Being English fields, they got that lovely ranged attack. On top of that, here, starting on the town centre, they will drop off all this gold as well. And DFP can look at going for a quick castle age behind this if he wishes. Although VortiX has other ideas. He's already started that longbow production, so he wants to start pressuring these villagers. Even if the town centre goes up, if he gets a critical mass of longbows, he can always come in, snipe a villager, back off, and just keep on doing that over and over. And sort of offset the fact that DFP has this faster town centre on him. Just get map control, keep that army production going. You know, stop his opponent from really getting too many villagers ahead with a double vill production. DFP gonna start getting his own longbows. In fact, because DFP's gone for the second TC, his castle age will be delayed. So VortiX will be able to go for knights earlier on than his opponent if he wishes. And the beauty of English castle age is that you do get a town centre out of it most of the time. Because the obvious landmark pick here will be to get that free town centre. Well, I mean, it's not really free. You're paying for castle age, but at the same time, your opponent spending on a second town centre. You're getting a town centre while getting castle for the price of the resource difference. So DFP able to keep garrisoning here and thin out the longbow count to the point where he's actually got a favourable number. So he can actually start creeping forward now. Been very quick on the garrisons there, denying VortiX the opportunity to actually snipe any longbows. So for the moment, VortiX is going to back off. He's got 2 to 5 in longbow count, but VortiX's castle age not far off at all. So he can try and defend in the same manner that DFP did, realistically, because DFP's not going for any aggressive towers. Can't really afford to at this stage. DFP not looking to really pressure too much because VortiX is evacuating everything out of the front side of his base anyway. He's towering up that gold mine, so he's not going to really be able to get a lot of value, because the same thing's going to happen that he did to his opponent, where you can sort of just lure him in to try and harass one of your vills and just garrison the moment you come under pressure. And the tower really makes it a cost-effective trade for you. So DFP not going to be able to get any value out of that for now. Just getting a bit of map control in the meantime. He isn't quite going to see the King's Palace go up, and I'm sure he'd like to, because he might want to pick away at some of these villagers. So VortiX actually retreating the vills this time. He might not even need the gold at this point. I don't think he's bringing them up because he wants to start going for this forward gold mine. It's right in the center of the map, so if he can control this and mine it out, the rear side gold mine, he doesn't have to worry about doing micro garrisoning, wasting his attention on it. And he's stealing all this gold from his opponent, realistically. His DFP's got an easier time getting the backside gold than what VortiX is going to have, I think. But even still, DFP walling himself in. VortiX siding against going for the front side gold, realizing it's probably going to be a bit too aggressive. DFP still has that slight omen count advantage, and is quick on the spearman production. So even if he wanted to go for a fast Knights harass, it's sort of not going to pay off straight away. He's going to have to play it smart, going to try and pinch up some relics faster than his opponent. Just bearing in mind, DFP's still stuck in feudal age for the moment. Having that second town centre, as any civ other than Abbasid, is actually quite expensive to constantly afford that second TC production. And then on top of that, he's getting a lot of spears in preempting of the knight production. So VortiX investing in a knight now, but DFP's already spent more on that in spears, so slowing down his castle age even more. He's gone for 3 barracks to his opponent's 1 stables. So VortiX now adding a barracks. He's really going to need to get some man-at-arms in the mix, but he can double upgrade them now that he's in castle age, and they're going to fare extremely well against his composition. Even though the knights only going to do very well against the longbows and the scouts, not really going to be very useful against the spears. Man-at-arms should be able to mow down everything DFP's got until he gets to castle age and gets either knights or siege in the mix. So here we go, man-at-arms being upgraded now for VortiX, and he is going to keep pumping out longbows, even though they're not going to be good against later heavy armor units. DFP is playing a squishy light armor comp for the moment, so having those longbows to back up man-at-arms and knights, it's going to mean he can really use longbow man-at-arms to deal with spears, save the knights to deal with the longbows. He's going to start getting control of a couple of relics now. So DFP should be eager to age up. He's banking quite a lot of gold at the moment. Getting a bit of a scout off. He's going to see the monastery and he knows his opponent's going to be looking at snatching up all the gold with the relics. And VortiX, unlucky to not actually pick off a couple of longbows there, but at the same time, he's trying to harass as quickly as he can with these knights. DFP sort of missing him there to bring back everything. He is walled in quite well. But the spears are sort of out of position. Oh no, they might be able to deny them. I can say any further over they would have been out of position there. VortiX ultimately repelled, not able to find a gap to get onto the vills and force 22 of them to garrison. Let's say food eco there for DFP. The VortiX is going to add a lot of barracks here. I think he wants to really just overwhelm his opponent with man-at-arms. He's getting all the infantry techs at the moment, not bothering with any ranged ones. DFP for the moment just getting eco techs, horticulture, double broadaxe, both kicking in. He's got a good vil count on both resources to afford both techs, while VortiX hasn't gone for either. And now DFP, castle age on the way, but VortiX has already got a nice cluster of vet longbow and man-at-arms, so castle age upgraded units against units that are really only good against knights and unupgraded longbows. It's going to be a tough sell for DFP. He's going to have to try and struggle through this. He does pick off VortiX's knights though. That's a nice kill for him, so it's going to mean a little bit less pressure on his bowman. At the same time, DFP is going to have to get out his own man-at-arms. He's getting the feudal age upgrade now, so he can take the castle age one behind this on them. He really needs to get some man-at-arms out now. Longbow vet, man-at-arms vet coming out now. So spearman vet coming out now for DFP, but not the right unit to really have against this sort of composition. He's got the numbers on his side. Don't think that's going to last much longer. DFP's had to invest in all these walls, and on top of that, VortiX has now had control of the 3 relics off the 2 monks, and he's going to get control of that sacred site, so they're going to pay themselves back off very quickly. DFP, the spears are a nice meat shield to have, but not against Man-at-Arms longbow. VortiX making no attempt to add any more knights at this point. Mostly just Man-at-Arms. So DFP adding crossbows of his own. He's still adding longbows as well, but these guys are really only useful against enemy longbows at this point in this composition. Really just to protect his own crossbows against the Man-at-Arms ball here from VortiX. So where's his blacksmith? I actually see a blacksmith here for DFP at all. He's got unupgraded units from the blacksmith, while VortiX has managed to sneak in a couple of upgrades now. So he's getting range damage too. He's got range. Oh, sorry, he's getting his first range damage. He's got melee and ranged armors and melee damage. So DFP has a good unit count here, but he's taking fights severely down in terms of armor. Blacksmith upgrades. I was going to say armory. And the Man-at-Arms ball, there's not really anything out to deal with them, because there's not really enough in the way of crossbows here for DFP at all. There's a couple of crossbows there. So now VortiX backing it off, but he's got control of the sacred site. DFP, they're gonna have to be careful. There's VortiX streaming forward once again. Just finished another armory upgrade, so he's got the ranged damage now. Longbow's gonna do great damage against the crossbows and longbows of DFPs, who are trying to work away at these Man-at-Arms, but with their heavy armor, it's a really tough fight. Man-at-Arms here for DFP as well. He's got the barracks upgrades on those, but again, he's got no armory upgrades on them just yet. So VortiX streaming forward. He's got control of all the sacred sites now. DFP's largely walled himself in from that rear side one, so he can't just take that back. Now the range ball for DFP is all gone. There's still a front line here for VortiX. And he is going to force his opponent to bring all of his villagers forward to take the fight. So VortiX can actually start focusing on the vills and all the range once again. DFP still can't quite get that critical mass of infantry or knock out VortiX's critical mass of infantry at the moment. Villagers trading blows with longbows, which isn't a good sign for DFP's eco now. And VortiX might have this game in the bag. And with that, the series 3-0. GG. DFP taps out. VortiX wins.